This meeting is now called to order. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Mr. Taylor? Mr. Pavoni?
Here.
Ms. Perez? Roll call, Mr. Mayor, 2 absent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move we excuse the absent council members.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. Corman, that we excuse council members Taylor and Perez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. First item on the agenda is a special presentation. Preeti.
Council President, Council members, Mr. Mayor, I'm Preeti Sridhar, Deputy Public Affairs Administrator. It is my pleasure today to welcome Kieran Dillon. Kieran is with the Seattle South Asian Film Festival. She's the festival director for the film festival. This is the largest South Asian film festival in the country. And they are celebrating their 10th year this year, and for a second time in a row, they have Renton as one of the host cities for the festival. The festival starts the 15th of October, but the last weekend, the 24th and the 25th, we have 14 films here in Renton. We have the closing night and the gala and the awards ceremony in Renton. This festival actually brings films from South Asia and film crews. So part of what we would like to do in terms of getting people to come to our communities, visit, come from other parts of the country, from the region, as well as other parts of the world, this festival accomplishes. So I don't want to say anything more. I'd like to turn it to Kieran, who will tell you a little bit more about the festival and, of course, invite you all to attend.
Thanks, Preeti.
Thank you, Preeti. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and talk about this festival. So, as Preeti mentioned, my name is Kieran Dillon. I'm the festival director, and we are really excited for our 10th year to again have the City of Renton as a partner for the second year in a row. So the festival is produced by an organization called The Sphere, which was founded in 2002 in response to the 9/11 attacks and some of the, to dispel some of the negative stereotypes that were being circulated in the media and in the community about South Asians. And the idea was to really engage with the community and to show what is South Asia and who are South Asians, and that South Asia is a very diverse place, a lot of peace-loving people who are interested in progressive thought and art as well. So the mission of the organization is to bring to the Pacific Northwest thought-provoking, interesting film and art from countries like India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, the Maldives. I don't think I left out any, but you get the idea. So that Asia, which is really quite diverse. And what started out as single screenings in the early years is now turned into a 12-day full-on film festival that is taking place across 5 cities in the area, including, of course, Renton. And this year we're bringing 59 films that include documentaries and narrative films, that are both short films and feature-length films as well. And we're really excited. The theme for this year is Coming Home, which is, we think, quite personal and not just relevant to immigrant communities, like a lot of which make up Renton as well, but also anyone who moved from California to Washington. The concept of home is something that is really near and dear, and we found this theme over and over in a lot of the films we were selecting this year, so we're really excited about that. And also special this year is we've chosen to focus on Sri Lanka as a focus country. We have films from all over, but we're bringing in special filmmakers from Sri Lanka, and to show a lot of the progress in filmmaking there as well. So, like Preeti said, in addition to the films, we also bring filmmakers, and we have the largest number of filmmakers attending this year, which is 25, and they're coming from literally all over the world, and we're really excited, and that's what really makes the festival interesting and engaging is for audiences not just to go watch a film, but to really be able to talk to the filmmakers, engage with them, understand what are the conditions that led to some of these, making them films about some of these subjects that they do. So again, we're excited to have this in Renton because of the diversity that exists in the city. We're excited we think our programming would be of interest to the city of Renton, and additionally, we want Renton audiences coming to our events and enriching the discussion that takes place there. So, and we're again really thankful for your support again, and without your support and other partners this year, we wouldn't be able to bring this together. We're almost a completely volunteer-run organization. There are about 30 or 40 of us that are putting together this 12-day event, and you are all invited to attend, and there will be complimentary passes and tickets, and I can offer more if we need so. Preeti will be the contact person for that. And so just a couple of the highlights: we have our opening night gala at the AMC Pacific this Thursday. There will be movies, food, music, and just a lot of fun. And then the first weekend will be at Film Center at Seattle Center, and then there will be some during the week programming at Northwest Film Forum and Seattle Asian Art Museum. And then we'll be in Renton over the weekend for the second week, and we'll be at Roxy Cinema and also at the Carco Theater. And that's where we'll also have our closing night and award ceremony, and we're really excited. So thank you. You can get more information about the festival at www.thesphere.org, and I'm happy to provide other information that you might need. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Council, have any questions?
Oh, I do have a video for you guys just to give you a little hint of a teaser of the kind of programming, if I may.
Sure.
Thank you. Are you playing it?
Are you playing it?
अगर आप लोगों को ये पसंद नहीं होगा गिरफ्तार कीजिए, शूट कर दीजिए। Perfect.
That's good. Can I get you any water or tea? How about chai? I don't have any chai.
Thank you. You got it? I think we're both trying to use the mouse at the same time. There we go.
Recognize him.
Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions from council?
No, but that was cute. I liked it.
Preeti, did I see your son there at the end?
My son flew in for my birthday and gave me a surprise, but no, I don't
Okay.
think so.
I don't
It
think
was
he's
just
in the
like
boat.
this.
Maybe he
For a second, I went.
maybe he has a new career he should think of.
Oh, that's right. Well, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to administrative report, Mr. Covington.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I think for administrative report, I just have a general update of a number of traffic issues revolving around construction. So the construction is a good thing. We're making progress in the city, but can result in some inconvenience for folks. So I think the most important one just to announce to the public is we're doing some work in and around Burnett Avenue between South Second and South Third. That involves vehicular and pedestrian traffic through the transit center. So there's been some bus routes that have had to be relocated onto Second and Third, taking away some parking for folks. So I think most of the transit riders have been made aware of those changes, but people just need to know if you're using the transit or plan to and you're not familiar with that, you may want to call Metro, and they can give you an update as exactly where those new bus stations are. We're continuing to do pavement patching in areas along Southeast May Valley Road and Hauser Way. So just be prepared for that construction, potential flaggers, as well as westbound on 156 between Southeast 144th and 6th. And we continue to do work in the westbound lanes of South 7th Street. We'll be also doing, there's a lot of construction activity related to the building that's going up on Main Street, there on between 2nd and 3rd, and so there's some street work to be done this week. Traffic channelization continues to change as they need to work in the street, so people just need to be aware of that and be cautious. And there continues to be some intermittent lane closures out along Maple Valley Highway in and around the golf course. So folks just need to be prepared and aware. It's, in this case, improvements which will ultimately help us out, but it does require us to be careful as we drive. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Next is audience comment. We have a couple people signed up to address the council. When I call your name, please come to the podium, give your name and city of residence for the record, and you have 5 minutes. It looks like Howard McComber and Fortress C.A. Smith Sr. are going to be together.
Right, thank you. Now, see if it works.
Remember, Howard, this is the week
Oh,
you're
I
supposed
know,
to do it on your own.
Did you see that? Good job. Magic. Here we are. Howard McComber, live in the city of Renton.
Fortress Smith Sr., City of Renton.
We came down to thank you for your tremendous support. We have a group with us. These are some of the people that you help all the time. They want to come down to give you their thanks for your tremendous support and for making the city of Renton a place where everybody belongs. Can I have them stand up? Would that be all right?
You bet.
Gentlemen?
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Okay,
Thank you
Howard.
guys so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yep.
Next is Dr. Linda Smith.
Well, good evening. I'm Linda Smith from the city of Renton. And on behalf of Maggie Breen, the executive director of REACH, I stand in her stead tonight to, again, just to give appreciation to the city for helping us and supporting us in the area of homelessness in our community. The gala was a real success, and we want to thank you for your support in that. As you've seen by Howard, that it's really making a difference, and we could not do this work without the city of Renton. We just couldn't do it. And so we are grateful for the Center of Hope, where we serve families. We have helped over 67 individuals and families transition from homelessness to long-term sustainable housing since we opened in 2013. And that doesn't count the number of meals that we've served in the city of Renton, the number of showers that people have taken, and just the other vital resources that they need. So on behalf of REACH, we want to say thank you. We appreciate your support. We could not do this without you. And our goal is to eradicate homelessness and hunger in our community forever. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, next is the consent agenda. We have 4 items for council consideration. Are there any items that a council member would like pulled for discussion? Oh, I'm sorry, you did? Oh, come on up, I'm sorry. What's your name?
My name is Kirk King, K-I-N-G. I live
Okay,
in
sorry
Seattle.
about that.
That's okay. I brought the blue form up earlier. I live in Seattle. I'm also a property owner in Renton. I'm a dentist at 66 Williams Avenue South. I've been a dentist at that location for over 15 years, and I've cared for a lot of families in our community. I'm not a very good public speaker, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm a little awkward and uncomfortable up here. The topic that I really have to talk about tonight is probably unpopular in a lot of ways. And the reason why is because I am seemingly on the wrong side of the topic. The topic is our homeless issue that we have in downtown and the North Renton neighborhood. Homelessness is an issue. It's a big issue, and it affects all of us. Some of us it's affecting, though, negatively on a daily and nightly basis. There are services that are needed. There are services that are needed to be provided to all the members of our community, and I get and respect that. We have tried over the last couple of years to appreciate that and to be good neighbors. But in speaking with a lot of my neighbors, there's also fear. I have people urinating, defecating on my property on a regular basis. I have 40-ounce cans left all over the place. I have broken windows, broken plants, a whole host of issues on my property alone. My neighbors are experiencing the same issues. So while it's incumbent upon us as a community to support all of our citizens, whether they're residing in a mansion or residing on a street corner, it's also incumbent upon our city to make sure that the impact to our residents and our businesses is attenuated. And we need to be conscious of what's happening around us. I admire the work of our police department. They've been so responsive. I have an office manager who's attended several meetings, and she experiences joy and frustration at those meetings when things are brought up. But we have a problem, and I don't know what else to do other than to come here and speak with you and prevail upon you to please find some way that we can work through the challenges and the difficulties that we're also facing. I have a couple of neighbors here who are experiencing these things. I have patients who mention it daily. I have one young couple, and they live on a street a couple blocks away. And I was talking with her the other day and asked her how things were going. She said, you know what? When we moved here 10 years ago, it was a great little community, felt safe walking around. I don't walk alone anymore. It's a concern. We have violence issues. We've had a lot of police calls. We've tried to be kind. We've tried to be nice. And now I've had to do the thing that I hate and abhor. That's post no trespassing signs. I think they're disgusting. I think they're so unwelcoming in a city where we want to try to welcome people. And I hated doing it, and I put it off for the longest time. And I was told the only thing I can do as a business owner is to post these really hideous black, red, and white no trespassing signs. It makes me the bad guy when I care about people, and I've tried for a very long time to care about people. But we're under siege. We're just overwhelmed. You know, you turn around and it's just relentless. And I think if you were to walk around the neighborhood and speak with residents, speak with business owners, and ask the question, how are you doing? What's going on? They'll give you an honest answer. No one's done that. No one's come to my door and said, how are things going in your neighborhood? I'd give you an honest answer. Since that hasn't been asked, I'm here tonight to let you know what's going on so that it's not just swept under the carpet. We have needs out there, and they have to be fulfilled. We have to try to find some way to help everyone. We just have to also be conscientious of what's going on in our neighborhood. I really care about my neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood. That's why I brought my practice to that spot 15 years ago. Dr. Brozovic had it before me. He'd practiced in this community for 42 years. And I love Renton, I really do. I want to see it thrive. And I'm willing to help in any way. Feel free to call on me. You have my information. Thank you for listening. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Dr. King. Thanks for coming. Okay,
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Prince, yes.
I move we adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Ms. Palmer, that we adopt the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person.
No unfinished business.
Ms. Palmer.
No unfinished business.
Okay, Mr. Corman
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
and Mr. Pavoni.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we'll buzz right through that and go to resolutions and ordinances. We have two ordinances for first reading.
Okay, the first ordinance for first reading is regarding the Walker Street vacation. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, vacating an alley adjoining 555 Southwest Grady Way between Seneca Avenue Southwest and Lind Avenue Southwest. Dale Walker of DNC Investments LLC petitioner BAC 15-002.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move this ordinance be advanced to second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Person, second by Ms. Palmer, that this ordinance be advanced to second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
The second ordinance for first reading is regarding the establishment of a salary commission. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington. Sorry, I have the wrong paperwork. Of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Chapter 5 of Title I, adopting a new Chapter 20 entitled Independent Salary Commission of Title II, and amending Chapter 3 of Title V of the Renton Municipal Code, establishing an independent salary commission.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Prince.
Yes, we decided council salaries haven't been looked at since 2004, and we thought the fair and transparent way of looking at it would be to adopt a independent salary commission. So I move that the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Ms. Palmer, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, new business, Mr. Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have a committee of the whole meeting on Monday, October 19th at 6 p.m. We have two, in the 7-4 Conferencing Center. We have two items on the agenda, the community survey and regional issues.
Okay,
And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
thank you. Mr. Person.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, next Monday at 5 p.m., the Finance Committee will meet in the council conference room. There's 3 topics: vouchers, merging issues and revenue streams, interlocal cooperative agreement with LIDAR. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Palmer.
Yes, the Transportation Committee, normally scheduled for, should be tomorrow, it says Thursday, has been canceled. And on behalf of Chair Perez, I'll announce the Community Services Committee will meet next Monday, which is October 19th at 4:15 in the council conference room. One topic on the agenda, and it's recreation summer wrap-up. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Corman.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Pavoni.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have 2 issues. First, I'd like to refer to public safety, a briefing for the proposed staffing increase for the police department.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, seconded by Mr. Person, that staffing for the police department be referred to the Public Safety Committee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, and second, the Public Safety Committee meeting for October 19th has been canceled.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, was there anybody who wanted to address the council who didn't get a chance to sign up? Yes, please come forward. Come on forward and give your name for the record at the podium and city of residence, and you have 5 minutes.
Okay, my name is Isaac Miles, Renton, Washington. I'm from North Las Vegas. I actually wanted to address what the gentleman was talking about here. I agree with you 100%. I'm actually homeless. I'm 20 years old. I just moved up here from Vegas. I agree with you 100%. I do, but that's a conversation that needs to be held on both sides of the spectrum. I'm homeless. My man's right here, he helps me out every day. I eat at the food banks every day. I take showers every day. A lot of the resources that you guys offer, I use every single day. I don't drink personally. I couldn't tell you about the 40s and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I've been vacated off of a couple different premises as far as, being there when I'm not supposed to, business owners not wanting us on their property. So I totally understand. But this is a small room. There are not many people here. I'm homeless. I can't speak for my peoples right here, But if this conversation was had with the homeless, and we let them know that there is an issue, there's no need for none of that, And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Thanks for being here.
Good evening. I'm Diane Dobson, Renton, Washington. and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm here not with my concerns on homelessness, but I'm here with concerns about safety in my neighborhood. If they go hand in hand, that's not my choice. I came to you guys a year ago, I came to the council a year ago and expressed my concern for safety in the neighborhood. Councilperson Prince, Councilperson Pavoni, and Councilperson Palmer, thank you very much for your time and listening to the words that I had to say. Councilperson Perez, in her absence, thank you for taking the time to respond. That being said, when I came to you about my concerns of safety in my neighborhood, what became very evident was a conflict of ideology of hands off the homelessness by the administration and the police department. And when I say hands off the homelessness, it was further evidence to me in a committee of the whole meeting last week when Councilperson Taylor, maybe trying to dissuade us from using the term homelessness to be all-encompassing of criminal behavior, referenced the fact that sometimes homeless people don't know any better than the abhorrent behavior that they demonstrate. Your police chief indicated that there's little that they can do for homelessness to quench the concerns of the citizens as far as safety, shopping in downtown, Renton, et cetera, loitering issues. I see there are crimes that are enforceable. My concern is that at times we have a reactive versus proactive police department, and it's weighing the responsibility on the citizens to call 911 and to call the police in situations where we know that crime exists. Crime exists at a nuisance property at the Salvation Army, and I say nuisance property tongue-in-cheek. I'll be the first one ringing bells. I'll be the first one giving donations at Christmas time throughout the year. I grow food in the garden for the Salvation Army Food Bank, but on the same token, I see what it's drawing into the neighborhood. Major Potter is new at the Salvation Army, even indicated that the Salvation Army has become an attractive nuisance or homeless hangout while they were with interim directors and majors there. And the results have been consequential to the neighborhood and detrimental to the neighborhood, because each person that comes to the Salvation Army and purports their crimes has a friend that comes with them. We see drug dealers that are preying on the individuals that are there. I could go on and tell you what we see. When I tell you what I see, I'm challenged that my statements aren't accurate. I was told by a patrol sergeant that there's no prostitution in Renton, yet I look at the Renton Reporter the very next week and there's an FBI raid at a Renton hotel stinging 8 Johns. So there's a level of inconsistency with the communication, and that's a concern to me as a citizen. We had police officers not responding to calls, triaging at a level lower than what we would like because homelessness was an issue. We have individuals that are in parks drinking that aren't cited for the same things because, as your chief of police said in the committee of the whole meeting last week, maybe they aren't as emphatic about laws with homeless because there's a mentally ill component where people are just released back to the streets after they're stabilized on their medication. And it becomes a cycle, an open-door revolving cycle that they don't want to get involved in. But it doesn't minimize the fact that the crime is happening. It doesn't minimize the fact that what's happening to our neighborhoods and our it's unfortunate. It truly is unfortunate. And Councilperson Taylor said maybe if someone had a family member that was homeless or mentally ill, they might change their tune. Well, I can come to you and say I've had a family member that was homeless. I've had family members that are mentally ill. I lost a brother who experienced both of those things, so I do know it personally. I'm a 22-year member of the Renton Lions Club, 40-year citizen of Renton, 6th-generation Renton citizen. My grandfather was the 8th mayor back in 1914, so we've been here. We were here in 1876 before Renton was a city. We were here before Renton was. So to have a police officer tell me when I say I'm concerned about changes within our city, if I don't like what I see to move, I take it personally, and that's when I came to you guys for help. I came to you for help, and a homeless committee was established, and it was subdivided into 2 committees, resources and safety. The safety component was charged to Major Potter at the Salvation Army, the same entity that we were saying was bringing the criminal component into our neighborhoods. That committee kind of went defunct. We had a couple light poles installed. We've never met again. The resources committee did a fantastic job. Karen Bergsvik did a fantastic job gathering resources and compiling information on food, clothing, no shelters. So we're attracting all these individuals into our neighborhood to provide the resources they so desperately need without putting a shelter over their head. But I didn't come to you to ask for help in ending homelessness. I asked you for help in bringing safety to my community. And we've got people here that are coming to you, telling you it's different than what your department heads say. We have the criminal element. We have the feeling of being unsafe in our community, and we're asking you as council members to please intervene and help. Please.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I need to respond because I think I've been misaligned is what I said the other night, is I don't want the homeless people who are not causing problems to be classified as the problem. And the people who are doing the drinking in the park, you're talking to a guy that thinks they should be if they're not getting a citation or an arrest, they should be. I don't care. They're violating the law, and those are the people that we need to go after and make it safe. So if you misrepresented or misunderstood the conversation that I had with Mr. Taylor, because Mr. Taylor and I are kind of on the different side of that issue for those that know me. So we need to address the criminal conduct and get it taken care of, and that's my goal.
Just to retort, absolutely, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and you never made a mention other than that. And you referenced that it wasn't the homeless population, it was the hooligans. And each element, every group has their hooligans, and it's the bad apples that spoil the bunch. And I recognize that you made that mention. It was Mr. Taylor that was to the polar opposite. But thank you for your clarification in that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I move the council meeting recess into executive session for approximately 20 minutes to discuss property acquisition with no official action to be taken, and that the council meeting be adjourned when the executive session is adjourned.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Mr. Corman, that council recess into executive session for approximately 20 minutes for property acquisition, potential property acquisition. No action to be taken. The meeting will be adjourned following that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.